Hello Goobers, I'm Luke and I make games, and a while back you might have saw a video that was the games I've never made. Well, this is the game in that video that I am secretly making. This is the horror maze roguelike game. Basically, the way this works is you are trapped in a maze with monsters. And your goal is basically to escape the maze and not get killed by the monsters. Occasionally, throughout the maze, you will find map pieces to slowly piece together the maze and figure out a way out. They appear on these pedestals. You pick up a map, boom, right there. As you can see, there's the pedestal. I'm about here. Then I turn, and I can use this map to find my way out of the maze. Boom, there's the exit. One thing you might have noticed is that I mentioned there being monsters. However, there weren't any. That's because you'll have to unlock the monsters as you go. Let's actually turn on the monsters this time. Turning on the monsters, oh my gosh, I don't care about this error. Turning on the monsters also turns on items. The only item I have is an axe that can tear down obstacle-based monsters and walls. Boom. I just wasted that. Cool. Anyway, let me see if I can find one. Or, you know what? Let me just give you a deep dive of each one individually. This right here is the basic monster. How did it not see me? I need to fix the field of view. Basically, oh, now it's seen me for sure, so it's going to chase me. The basic monster is, well, basic. If it sees you, it's going to chase you, and I think I lost it. Where'd it go? There. And if it touches you, you die. Your run's restarted. Next up is the bean. I'm going to try to avoid looking at it because that's the bean's mechanic. If you look at it and then stop looking at it, kind of like an Enderman in Minecraft, you die. So, boom, looking at it, oh, must have stopped looking at it a little bit because I died. This will also wander around the maze, and when it sees you, it will attack you. There, yeah. It's pretty easy to die to the bean. The third monster is not one that roams the maze. It's always at a set point. So, I'm going to have to walk there so I can show to you what it does. Okay, so it should be just around here if I keep walking yep, there it is. It's just a cheap jump scare for when you get to the end. It doesn't kill you, but when you enter a certain distance from the end, you get a little jump scare and it obscures your view. The fourth and final monster is the spider. When it'll spawn a spider web somewhere random in the maze, and when you go, you can try to avoid it like this, or if you end up going directly underneath it, it kills you. It appears somewhere different every single time you load it up, except for this demonstration, it'll always spawn right there. The spider is also currently our only obstacle enemy. So I have my axe equipped right here. So that means if I were to look at the spider web and use my axe, boom, it's gone. I got a little notification in the bottom that says I killed a spider. Whoops. That says I killed the spider. In the basic game, none of these monsters or items are anywhere. And currently I haven't programmed a way to get them into the game, other than just what I call the test mode, which spawns in every item, there's only one so far, and every monster. But here is my plan for the shop. So after you exit the maze, this is gonna play. Boop, boop. You can buy any items with rewards you get for difficult monsters, and can buy any upgrades to your player. No upgrades have been made yet. So, one thing in the development process that I've wondered is the difference between items and upgrades. Items are like tools for the player, and the upgrades are like things that affect the player. That did make sense. Let me pull up my design doc. So this is my design doc for the game. It has every monster that I've currently added into the game. That's what these asterisks are for. And every monster I'm planning on adding into the game. They also have items and upgrades. So the upgrade I'm going to show off to just show what the difference between an item and an upgrade is the map tracker. This will make you and enemies and certain enemies that you'll track with items appear on your map. The map fragments that you get. And then when you're done buying your items, everything's gonna leave and monsters are gonna appear for you to select. Now, let's get into a deep dive for each of the monsters. The basic monster is currently just a cube. Yippee. However, it has navigation to move around, a navigation script, and a patrolling script, which randomly picks points in the maze for it to move around to. And this, of course, will move it towards the player. The bean is pretty similar. It has the navigation, the player tracking script, and the patrolling script, just with a lot of values changed. But also in the player controls, it has a little section to detect if it was looking at the bean and then if it looked away. For those of you who don't know how to read C#, basically what this is doing is creating a ray that shoots out from the camera in a straight line. Then it checks to see if that ray hit anything. If it did, it checks to see if it hit the bean. If that's the case, we'll set it so that bean hit, which is the variable, is equal to true. So basically, once you've looked at the bean and then looked away from the bean, you die. The scary face, which is not showing up for some reason. I mean, I guess you can see the image. It's just one of those default jump scare images that would be used in like a Roblox game or something. The way this one works is this is all setting up to make sure it has the player and the end trigger and the animation stuff. What it has is if the player is in the end trigger area, then it will trigger the jump scare. Pretty simple. And last, but certainly not least, is the spider. Or the spider web. No, the spider. This has a small hitbox at the top to detect if it's colliding with the walls or with the axe. And then a large trigger to see if the player's in. The script for this one is pretty similar to the scary face. There's setting up variables, seeing if the player is within the kill zone, and this I'm really happy with. If it's touching anything, it will check to see if it's in a wall, and then if it is, move to a random location. Then it will repeat this code again. If it's touching a wall, move to another position. Yeah. Until it finds a place to sit. If I'm not mistaken, if you notice the spider, I think it's avoidable every single time. The issue is noticing it. Now let's do a deep dive on the axe. There's nothing. It's just a button somewhere. Where's this stupid... Okay, the button's not showing up. I want to replace the button with like an image of an axe you click. But the way this works is it starts out... Oh, I need to switch over to the script. It starts out with 2 charges. It does some more camera stuff to see what you're looking at. If it's touching an obstacle enemy, then it will destroy that enemy and lose 1 charge. But if it's facing towards a wall, it'll destroy that wall and get rid of 2 charges, which then would destroy the game object itself. So that's how all the items and stuff work, but how they all go in is all controlled by this game manager's object. It has the map controls, the monster managers, and the item manager. I wanted each of these monsters to have a different acronym, sort of, so that I could just quickly identify them and I wouldn't have to type out their name every time. So that's what I came up with right here. There's the object itself, which is in the files. It's already selected. Then a static bool, which basically means even when the game resets, it'll remember whether it's true or false variable. Then it detects, hey, if whatever monster is active, then let's create it, let's instantiate it. And this is God mode, turning on all the monsters. But enough talking about the game, let's just get to playing it. This will be my playthrough with everything. Okay, see a podium right here. There's my first map fragment. I've got to keep my eye on the roof for the spider. Luckily, I haven't encountered any monsters yet. I guess I did. The bean must have just barely crossed my point of view. That was weird. But since I died, I bet you can hear me pressing spacebar. There's no more maps. I lost all of them. You'd think since I've been making this game for months, I would basically have memorized the maze layout. And that's true, I kind of have. But I took a wrong turn somewhere, and I'm lost. According to one of my friends who playtested this, a cube in this maze-like setting can be just as scary as a little bean. The bean, by the way, was originally a player design for a Bed Wars type game I was making with some friends before that group sort of fell apart. Oh, map fragment. I think this is the second. Yeah. And so I just decided to repurpose it. The game was called Bean Wars because it was a bean. Wait, I'm back at the start. I can just take my optimal route. And since I still have an axe, I can use it to break down a wall at the very end. Another map fragment. This will be helpful. Oh, no, but there's both the, there's both the basic monster and the bean. I'm really hoping I lost it. It's a great way to dodge the bean. Is just look at the floor. Terrible way to dodge the spider. I need to remember to keep my head up. Jump scare. Scary face. But that means I'm close to the end. And I'm just gonna break this wall while I'm at it. Because the end is right here. Woohoo! That's how my game is going. If you enjoyed this video, please like. That would be amazing. Also, if you think like, oh my gosh, this game would be so much better if you had a sandwich as an item or whatever item, just leave it in the comments. There's a good chance it'll be added. I'm looking for ideas. Yeah, make sure you like, leave a comment, and